Brought to you by Penguin.
The Power and the Glory by Adrian Tinniswood, read by Matthew Spencer. Introduction. All that glitters. The conversation died to silence as the princess took to the floor, her diamonds shimmering in the light from a cluster of enormous chandeliers. And as she curtsied to her partner, and the orchestra struck up an Offenbach quadrille, the elite of British landed society looked on with complacent pride at this young woman, whose father was a king, and whose husband was heir to the largest empire in history. The ball had begun, and the assembled company, dukes and generals, politicians and society dames, watched and waltzed and two-stepped until dawn, happy in the knowledge that the night and the world belonged to them. The date was Friday the 2nd of December, 1870. The place was Sandringham House, and the occasion was both a housewarming and a birthday party. Alexandra, Princess of Wales, was celebrating her 26th birthday, and she and her husband of 7 years, Prince Albert Edward, known in the family as Bertie, had just moved into Sandringham after a long programme of rebuilding, which saw this modest Norfolk mansion transformed into a vast and imposing Jacobean palace, a building which, like Alex and Bertie and their guests, radiated prosperity and an unbridled confidence in the future. Was it misplaced? Bad weather, poor harvests, and outbreaks of foot-and-mouth disease and liver rot in the 1870s, combined with foreign competition which undercut prices on the home market, had a devastating effect on British agriculture. Grain came in from America, and a dramatic fall in prices in the 1880s proved disastrous for cereal growers, particularly in the east and southeast of England. Livestock and dairy farmers weren't quite so badly affected. Although steamships brought refrigerated lamb and butter from New Zealand, demand remained high for dairy products, and home producers were able to take advantage of that. Nevertheless, British farmers struggled with falling prices, and as prices fell, so rents fell, and that meant that incomes fell for the big rural landlords. Statistics for the period are incomplete, but what is clear is that some parts of the country suffered more than others, while some landowners were better than others at investing in improvements. Between the early 1870s and the early 1890s, the Duke of Richmond found that his income from his Goodwood estate fell by 25%. The Earl of Leicester's net income from Hokum went down by more than 20%. The Duke of Bedford sold off a fifth of his estates in Bedfordshire and Buckinghamshire, and this combined with falling rents meant that his income from land dropped by more than 40%. Some country house owners, like Bedford, reduced their land holdings. Others had done so already, putting their money into mining or manufacturing or stocks and shares. But other factors contributed to the break-up of large estates, and one of the most far-reaching was the relaxation of the laws governing family settlements. A country house owner in the 1870s may have wanted to sell off parcels of outlying land to fund improvements on his farms. He may have wanted to have a quiet talk with a representative from an auction house about that Van Dyck of his ancestor in the dining room, or the first folio Shakespeare in the library. He may even have yearned to put the entire estate, ancestral seat and all, on the market, and decamp to Paris with his mistress and the proceeds. But in 9 cases out of 10, he couldn't. The terms of the family settlement prevented him. And that is just what it was meant to do. A strict family settlement turned the owner into a tenant for life, able to enjoy his estates and the income they generated, but not able to dispose of any part of them without the consent of trustees. If the Van Dyck and the first folio had been deemed at some point to be heirlooms, he couldn't flog those either. And the settlement entailed the estate on the landowner's eldest son, a move guaranteed to keep everything together. In contrast,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?